Minecraft just introduced a new block, and apparently that brand new block has a brand new feature that is receiving a whole lot of hype. Now, what block am I talking about? I'm talking about the Calibrated Sculk Sensor. Now, according to the details of Snapshot 23W12A, this brand new feature, the Calibrated Sculk Sensor, is a new variant of skulk sensors which allows you to filter vibrations based on their frequency level. But what if I were to tell you that that feature already exists in the game? But before we get to that, let's take a look at how this supposed brand new block and feature is supposed to work. Now, once again, according to the snapshot details, it states that one side of the calibrated skulk sensor can receive a redstone signal as input, and the strength of that redstone signal is the only vibration frequency that the skulk sensor will listen to. So what this means is we can actually make a skulk sensor only listen for specific sounds such as the player walking, or maybe the player jumping, or the player interacting with the block, or killing a mob. So let's go ahead and take a look at that really quick. Now, I believe how this is supposed to work is if we place down a calibrated skulk sensor, then let's have a comparator facing into it, set it to subtract, we'll put a lectern here with a book and quill. In this book, I have 15 different pages because there's supposed to be 15 different actions that you can calibrate a skulk with. So we have walking, landing, item interaction, gliding, equipping gear, so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and set that to walking. And then facing out the back, we'll connect it to a lantern. And now, apparently, if we walk around, that redstone light will turn on, and it will only do so by walking around. So now if we jump, nothing will happen. If we throw an item, hold on, let me do that. Let me do that again without actually walking. If we throw an item, nothing happens. Jump around. Oh, hold on, that was a footstep. I promise, that was walking. We jump around in place, nothing happens. A walk, it lights up. Likewise, if we change this to, you know what, let's change it to drinking or eating. So a redstone signal of 8. So now, if we're walking around, you can see nothing is happening. Jumping, nothing is happening. Throw an item, nothing happens. But if we gulp this honey down, it activates. Now, as awesome as this feature is, it already exists in the game. Now, you may be wondering, wait, how exactly does this already exist in Minecraft? This is a brand new feature that Mojang introduced in the brand new Snapshot. Well, it works with normal skulk. And this fun little device that I've set up right here in the back. Now, instead of feeding a redstone signal into the skulk, what this is instead doing is it actually compares the signal being sent from the skulk and basically does the same exact thing as the calibrated skulk sensor. So if we set this back to a redstone signal of 1 for walking. And then for this one, if we put one single item in the chest, this should represent a redstone signal of 1. Then now, anytime we walk around, both of these redstone lamps should turn on. So walk, they both turn on. Walk again, they both turn on. Now if we jump, let's try that again. Now, why did you not work how I thought? Oh, that needs to be subtract. Okay, let's try this again. So, if we walk around, both of these lights should turn on. Let's go ahead and try that one more time for good measure. Walk around, both lamps turn on. Now, if we jump, neither should turn on. So, difference, I guess one difference between these two items. This skulk still receives the vibration, so it still picks up the movement that I did a jump. whereas this one does not. You see if I move around, a little vibration pulse just flies right towards it. But if I jump, nothing. This one, if I jump, it still notices it. But with this filter setup, it doesn't do anything for the redstone lamp. Now, likewise, if we wanted to actually filter this a little bit more, what we could do, let's filter it for equipping gear. Done. Oh, and for good measure, let's go ahead and set up one more skulk. This guy with absolutely nothing unique. Go ahead and put this right here. What was that signal strength? Signal strength of 5? Okay. For a signal strength of 5, with this method, I believe we need 9 items. Because, you know, Minecraft math and all. But that should make it the same exact thing. Except for... you are still seeing me walk around. Why is that? I need to toggle you? Okay, I realized I had something set up wrong. Actually, we need a comparator coming out of this one. I'm surprised it actually worked without it for the walking. But now we have a comparator set up. We have one item in here. And now if I walk around, the light will turn on. But if I jump, nothing will happen. If I throw an item, nothing will happen. Obviously, that one has no filter, so it's just picking up absolutely everything. But let's say we want to filter this down to equipping gear. So that's a signal strength of 5. And because of Minecraft math, for a signal strength of 5, we actually need 9 items. Don't ask, I don't know why, but that's just how it is. And so now, if we walk around, nothing happens for these two, but does activate for that guy. If we jump, same exact thing, nothing for these guys. That one's still turning on. And then if we equip an item, they all turn on. As you can see, oh, look at my lovely chainmail headpiece. Helmet. Headpiece. It's been an early morning. And so now, let's say we'll have this one set up for interacting with an item. We'll have this one still set up for a signal strength of 5, and that one will remain unfiltered. And now if I equip this helmet again, see, I'm not wearing anything. If I equip this helmet again, not only, these two should turn on. That one should not. But then if I interact with something, here, we'll interact with a chest, which clearly is not an item interaction. What the hell is what constitutes as an item interaction? Probably blowing a horn. And there you can see that lamp turns on. The other filtered lamp does not turn on. And that was probably just on cooldown. But the unfiltered one will still pick up every sound. So, just like I was assuming, this calibrated sculk sensor, the feature already exists in the game. So I'm not entirely sure what all the hype is about. But there is something I've come across that I think is the reason for all the hype. In addition to this snapshot letting us actually filter for certain vibrations, the snapshot also makes it so that blocks of amethyst will actually carry on the signal that is fed into them. So if we set up a few, we'll put this guy here, we'll go a few down, put this guy here, few down, we'll put, are we going to be able to see that there? Here, let's put it there. So now what should happen is when we feed this a signal strength of 3, what's going to happen is that vibration is going to be fed into this block of amethyst, and then that same exact sound is going to be carried across to the next one, and carried across to the next one, and the next one, and then turn on this light. So for all these that aren't filtered, you can see as I walk around, a little ding happens that carries over to the skulk, turns the light on. But down here, this one is only calibrated to receive item interaction signal strengths. So if we do that, you can see the lamp turn on. But if we walk around, nothing happens. Now, the reason why this is so cool is because essentially what it means is we can use one line of skulk to transmit a signal, but we can actually transmit different signals into that same exact line to then do different outputs at the other end. Here, let me explain. So if we, let's say we set up another guy here. We'll put that amethyst down. Can I copy this book? Take book. We'll duplicate that like that. I don't actually know if that carried everything across, but that's fine. Let's do item interaction for one. And this one will do equipping gear. So let's get rid of these guys. All right, so now if we walk around, nothing should happen with that redstone lamp down there. Oh, hold up, this isn't gonna work. I realized something. I think we need these bad boys set up down here. Let's grab another comparator. Which they need to be on subtract. We'll put another guy down here. And then we'll do a redstone lamp on this side, redstone lamp on this side. Book. This one was set to, wait. I love the sounds of these. Equipping gear and walking. Okay. Is that item? See, I knew I didn't have the, okay, hold on. Equipping gear. Item interaction. Okay, so if my thought is correct, now if I walk around, nothing should happen. If I interact with an item, only the left light should turn on. Which I am incorrect. Oh, duh. Okay. There we go. Okay, now, if I walk around, nothing happens. If I interact with the horn, only the left light should turn on. Nope, sorry, this is item interaction, so only the right light should turn on. Let's do that one more time. And then if I equip this helmet, then this one should turn on. Oh my god, it works. Okay, I'm starting to understand the hype. That is just the coolest feature ever. So we are sending two different actions, depending on what the player does. It will send the signal down the same exact line, but then dependent on what action you have set up down here, or what equivalent action you have set up down here, it'll perform, I mean, you could set it up to perform something else. Like, maybe this one would open a door, maybe this one would dispense an item. I don't know. The vibrations are our oyster. Wait, what is that even mean? Anyways, peeps, I think that's going to be it for me today. But what are your thoughts? Are you excited for this brand new feature? Do you still think it's overhyped after everything that we've looked at today? Or do you think this is going to bring some awesome technology to the game? Me personally, I can't wait to see what the tech community is going to start developing around all these vibration resonance and essentially wireless sound related redstone that we can now do. So with that, I hope you all have an absolutely amazing day. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me. I will see you all in the next episode. Laters!